when did you start doing drag?
Tuesday! Thanks, I've been working on it!
Like the new hairdo, Alkaline.
Thanks, I've been working on it! That's a great question! Yes, thank you. You're welcome. For context, my phone went missing for like 3 hours on Thursday, and I kept accusing Fur of taking it because I knew he had it, and it wasn't his phone the entire time. Yeah, I have like 100 new pictures on my phone because of that. It's okay, I got blackmail about that now.
Nice.
You have blackmail.
Where did you delete those pictures?
Where did you fall again?
No. That's deleting evidence. Yeah, back me up. Ah, yes. I like your version better.
That is fair.
Hey, want to sing a song?
Yeah.
It's really easy. You'll learn the words very quickly. If you're not 18, then you're 12. If you're not 18, then you're 12. If you're 17, then you're 12. If you're 13, then you're 12. If you're not 18, then you're 12. Yay. If you're not 5'9", then you're short. Oh, who said it? Oh, I hate that! I'm waiting for my growth spurt to happen. It'll be any day now.
You are far more patient than you.
I broke oozing.
How are you all? How many have been in here for the last 3 panels?
Some part of it.
How many of you just walked in and haven't seen any of the shit we've done yet today? How many of you are in the Not Safe for Work chats?
Yeah.
How many of you are unaware that I'm in that chat? How many of you right now are frantically deleting pictures you put in the Not Safe for Work chat? Actually, there's right there. Shit.
I don't think I ever could do that. You're too much like my dad. I feel like I'd be so.
Yeah, no, there's certainly people I've told before, hey, maybe lock down your AD better. I didn't think, I'm like, yeah, I don't have to go looking for it if somebody retweets it to me. And, you know, just the way our relationship is, just hit the block button, please. Just block me on that account.
I want to start a Not Safe for Work Twitter, but it's just like OSHA violations.
Already been done.
Damn it!
Already, just like the After Dark picture that Twitter that's nothing but pictures of complete blackness. It's already been done.
That's the asexual. That's my kind of style. How dare someone steal the idea?
Oh look, Alkali's late again.
What do you mean? I'm right here.
Yeah, Alkali's right there.
I'm not here.
Alkali, you're short.
Shut up.
He did say he was grabbing.
I'm always drunk.
Did you have to do something with your hair?
Shut up.
Why are you shut up?
This is not a Q&A session.
Answer.
No.
Alkali, what's your favorite number?
69.
That's so wrong.
It's actually
Oh, look, he's on top.
3 baggies, and one of them is special now.
Maybe you should tell them that a live audience.
Excuse me, that was innuendo. I can say whatever I want if I don't read it.
What are in these?
I'm about to find out.
Wait, they just hand you 3 of these and like one of them has a special treatment. I'm not telling you which one.
This one's vodka.
Oh shit.
You can, yeah, we can sit there if you guys.
We gotta have on the same bag just in case. This panel is about to get interested.
What was in that?
I'll tell you in 10 minutes.
Everybody, welcome to our comedy better when I've had a few.
I am so worried where that joke is leading.
I gotta stop eating shit that we randomly find in your pockets.
Would you like the list of this convention so far?
Yes.
So far this convention in my pocket I have found a brand new deck of cards, thank you. Multiple small airline bottles of booze, thank you. Multiple bottles of Malort, stop it. Multiple pieces of different kinds of meat. And of course, at least 20 babies.
That's not a euphemism.
Someone has been putting tiny babies in my pocket, which made my encounter this morning at Dunkin' Donuts very confusing for the cashier. Thank you. No! Oh good, a moist towelette. And an egg.
Like, I love that people keep giving this shit to Alkali because, you know, I steal Alkali shit.
And a Dunce flush. Obviously representing me.
Sir?
Oh. Yes,
What did I just eat?
I will tell you in 10 minutes. Oh. You will know in about 15 minutes. You're gonna shut up now.
Yeah, actually, that leads to a good start off point. Fursquared has a special place in my heart because of one event. Several years back, I got invited to a room party at Fursquared.
Yeah!
And somebody had something in an edible format. Something I had not done in many, many years. And they were shaped like gummy bears.
Hey guys, we're almost at capacity. If you've got empty chairs next to you, if we can scoot in just so they can get... Is there still a line outside?
Yes!
What is wrong with all of you? Don't you have things to drink?
It's because of you.
Oh, good. Smart.
You're funny. Yeah. But I stop asking permission and just get on stage. Don't do it.
Yeah, I'm like, really, don't do that. We don't like when people just randomly get on stage. Believe it or not, we actually do have set lists. All right. So anyways, as you mentioned, I get back to the room party, and somebody has several things in an edible format that look like gummy bears. And I went, certainly it's been a long time, I'll have one, and I had one. And then I said, this is not kicked in yet. I'll have another one, it must be weak. So I sat there, and about 5 minutes later said, "This is not kicked in yet. I'll have another one. They must be really weak." So I had another one. Then about 10 minutes later, I forgot what was in them and thought they were just gummy bears. I think they may have kicked it at that point in time. So I had a handful. And then somebody said, "Oh yeah, you have a panel that I had completely forgotten about." Somebody had asked me to be on a brand new panel they were running. I went, "Oh shit, right." So I run down, I get on the panel, and I'm there with Chris the Comedy Bud. Chris had been up in the room with me, and they were sitting here, it's getting ready to start, and I just freeze. Like, there's a video of this out there, by the way. If you know the panel I'm talking about, look it up. It was like 2019, 2020. But I just freeze. And you can see on the video the moment that I go, and I lean over to Chris the Comedy Bud and I go, "I think they kicked in."
And what did Chris say?
Chris goes, "So did mine." And then they start the panel. The panel is, it's going through books. Like it's Cards Against Humanity, but with books. And somebody gives us the prompt, and then the 4 panelists go through the books to find a phrase in the pile of books we have to find the response, the best response. The panel is made up of myself, Chris the Comedy Bun, and 2 published authors. So the authors are taking this really seriously. And Chris the Comedy Bun and I are high as shit. Going through books in a dark room. Finding phrases, right? And after the first run, Chris leans over to me and goes, "Boozy. Boozy. Boozy." "What?" "I'm high and have dyslexia. This is hard mode." And you know the moment that said, because that's the moment I started laughing uncontrollably. And then, after that round, they brought out the adult furry books for us to find our phrases, which of course everybody else looked, no, that book doesn't. No, that book doesn't. No, that book. And Chris Bud and I are like, "Yeah, we don't need the rest of the books now. We're using the porn book." And if you watch the video of this panel, it is essentially 40 solid minutes of 2 authors being very, very serious. And Chris the Comedy Bun and I reading porn and giggling. So
Performing is hard.
So what I'm saying is masturbation is at 9:30, and if you have some gummy bears, please see me at about 9.
Boozy, 10 more minutes. You know, that's the beauty of performing, because sometimes you might be a little inebriated when somebody explains to you what you're supposed to be doing. Like, let's say if they tell you they want you to be a call-in on their college show, where they are going to present you with the music from a live musical, and you are supposed to piece together what is going on. In my mind, this was supposed to be a comedy, make fun of the music panel. Status, was that the point of this?
No.
Well, too goddamn bad. Because as they start playing the music to the musical, I realized that, this first song, what really fits? Children working at a mortuary. That's obviously what this musical is about. Now, in improv,
The bad part is the song was "The Sun Will Come Out Tomorrow."
look, yes and is very important to me. And I was a solo performer. I already had my and. I had to say yes to myself. So as this one is sitting on the other side of the radio show trying desperately to make me take this seriously, I'm like, and then the kids burned their mother, and that's why this song is called Lament of a Hat. Status, how'd that episode go?
I had to send a genuine and legitimate apology to my co-host.
That's always the best moment, like, I'm sorry my friend embarrassed us.
Yeah.
Get used to it, you know me.
So how's your first square bed? All right. Mine's been amazing. It's got nothing to do with you all. Alkali, as we all know, Alkali progressed several years ago involuntarily to being a full-time performer. I always say you don't become unemployed, you just become suddenly self-employed. But Alkali, how did you get voluntarily or suddenly self-employed?
What year was that? MCFC in
2022. 2022.
God, that was that? Wow. In 2022, I was at MCFC, Motor City FurCon. I had just stepped out from one panel, and on my phone, my coworker, who I like, has sent me about 40 messages. That's pretty normal for my job. There's probably something they need me for. I give them a quick call. Fun part was, no one knew that my manager couldn't get a hold of me because I was at a FurCon. They forgot I took off Friday. And you know how jobs go. They love to fire people on Friday. So I wasn't there for them to fire me, and I'm not picking up my phone. So when Tom calls, like, I'm so sorry, I just heard. And I said, heard what? I got the greatest minute of silence over a phone I have ever gotten in my life. And he tells me, they let you go, man. Oh. Tom, don't worry about it. I am at a FurCon. I am surrounded by the most supportive people on the planet. I'll be okay. I'll talk to you on Monday. When I come in anyway, I don't want you to tell anyone that you told me I was fired, because Monday's going to be hysterical. I went to the panel, and if you subscribe to my Twitch channel, you'll sometimes see me play a What is Alkali Anonymous, a video that my friend over here, Status, edited, and that starts with the moment I walk into their panel, and what is the question you unknowingly asked me as I walked through the door?
Hi, contestant number 5. What's your name and what do you do?
My name's Alkali, and I was just fired.
So, history repeats itself. Yesterday is Friday. I am standing in the registration line immediately after signing out of my remote computer. I work for the government. I'm an attorney for the government. Signing out after saying, hey, I'm taking the rest of the day off. And as we are picking up the badges with my family beside me, my office phone forwards to my cell phone. And we have Microsoft Teams. The government runs on Skype.
I'm sorry.
So it tells me who in the office is calling. And the name of the person who is calling is the chief counsel, the head attorney for the government agency I work with. It is right after I put myself on Do Not Disturb with a message saying I am out of town for the remainder of the weekend. And I pick up, and I stepped aside from registration, and I say, Office of Chief Counsel, how can I help you? He goes, we need to talk. And I say, what do we need to talk about? He goes, well, as you know, we just had our organizational assessment with the General Counsel's office, and that is the chief civil lawyer for the entire state. the one that all the agencies report to. And your name came up. So, effective immediately, you are promoted to attorney grade 3. And we're giving you a 15% pay increase. I was just going to say, I really need you to lose the lottery because it seems like I am the anti-alkali.
I wouldn't call you the anti-alkali. I have a different name for you now. Sugar Daddy. I expect you to up your Patreon immediately.
I don't support your Patreon. In a roundabout way, I support your Patreon.
Oh my God. I adore you. Stannis, you're working at Disney right now, right? That's got to be a lot of fun, and I'm sure you have no problems whatsoever while working there. What story are you allowed to tell so that the mouse doesn't attack us immediately?
That's okay. Mickey's busy. Hold on.
If you don't know what Cuck Mickey is, go to more panels. They get weird at night. Status, what non-Cuck Mickey experience have you had? I can't believe I need the clickwares on this. What have you had at Disney?
I didn't come prepared. I just showed up. My ride worked for 12 minutes one day. That was fun. I don't even think this is a funny story, to be honest. I show up at 6 in the morning, which is ungodly too early, to find out that a brake had broken one of our rides. So they were replacing that, and that was fun. So we're literally sitting in the break room doing nothing for about 3 hours. Yeah, it was great. So they finally get the brake working. We go back up to the tower, which is basically where you can see all of the cameras that look at all the rides, and we point out, hey, there's still a car on the track. And they're like, yeah, that's fine. And we're like, no, it's not. If that ride starts moving, one of us dies. Like, no, get it off the track. So it turns out the brake that they replaced didn't work. So they had to go back, replace it again. We're about 6 hours in at this point. At 1:30, we finally get the ride working properly, and it's great. We go on break. At 1:42, my coworker comes down and tells us, cool, the ride's down again. Awesome. So it turns out, so I work on Slinky Dog Dash, for those who don't know, and there is a scratch on one of the dog's foot, which is great, you know. So we can't run the ride because there's a scratch on the foot and they think it's something on the track. Here's the thing, the scratch had been there since yesterday and nobody had said anything. Everything was fine.
Everything is fine.
The ride was closed for the remainder of my shift. And that's the story of my ride working for 12 minutes. I don't have any stories from Disney yet. It's very terrible. Oh yeah, they almost dropped a kid 13 feet through the track. That's fine.
I feel like you can't tell that story.
No, I can't.
Like, I feel like there's a Disney hit squad in the back. Like a red dot's just gonna appear on your it's about the world.
That is the worst thing to hear before the sniper hit.
Well, you see, you know the story that people don't die on Disney property. They have to be taken off Disney property before they die.
Immortality is at hand.
See, you laugh, but I used to work on boats. Years ago, I worked on river boats. I was actually the crew chief of the oldest operating paddle wheel steamboat on the Western rivers, and I think the oldest operating paddle wheel steamboat in the United States. Maybe the world, don't know. She's over 100 years old now. And in other seasons, I worked on other boats. There is a steamer, or was, it's now out of service as of last week, called the American Queen. And she had a sister boat called the Mississippi Queen. And she had a sister boat called the Delta Queen. And when I was working on boats, all of them ran the rivers. And I knew most of their crew. Now, they were overnight paddle wheel steamboats that we just called the floating morgue. Because the only people taking leisurely paddle wheel steamboat cruises up and down the Ohio and Mississippi River are like old Gummy. Which is just tempting because those things move like 10 miles an hour at most. So it's like, this is how you die. Staring at it like you come on and die. The problem is when a passenger dies on a boat, there's a lot of paperwork. A lot of paperwork. So people would die in their sleep of heart attacks or age or a health condition. And we'd always say, how do you handle that? Finally, one of the crew members said, we learned a fun fact. What's the fun fact? As long as you are performing resuscitation efforts, they cannot legally be declared dead. Oh my God. And I always thought they were fucking around. Until one of those boats pulled into the port I was working on, and I saw a first mate that I worked under every now and again on top of a man's chest as they wheeled him across the bow down the gangplank as it was coming off the boat right after they tie up, doing chest compressions. And the second they hit the fucking wharf where the EMTs were, she went...
Cue, some shit just happened. You might be free for dinner tonight.
Did anybody actually see where that went?
I swear to God, if you pull down this room,
That'd be the best way ever to start a relationship. What happened? The fat guy lost his wedding ring and your lights.
Fall down there.
Just reminding everyone, there will be a search party after this event. I do appreciate stories like that because I do run it, and throwing rings. I do run into a lot of times just with the people I have to deal with that just, this is your job. This is your job, you just have to accept it as is. And sometimes that works out really well for me, like sitting outside of Anthrocon. I had to get to Anthrocon 3 days early. One of the things that I do for them is help run the block party, the large event that happens outside Anthrocon. It's one of those things with just a lot of moving pieces, and as things go with moving pieces, no one responds to you till the last possible minute. So this is 5 days from the convention, and all of a sudden I have 8 food trucks, 4 spots, 5 complaints, and I am not doing too well. I went downstairs and did the thing that I do to stress relief, which is listen to music in my van very loudly while smoking a copious amount of something that comes in a little tin. A tin of happiness, a can of bliss. Just for me. Now, there's some songs in my life that have interesting meanings. And while listening to one of my YouTube red stations, sitting in my car, totally overwhelmed, outside of the Doubletree in Pittsburgh, It's All Right, It's Okay comes onto my radio. It's all right, it's okay, it's all right, it's okay. And the tears just start. You do much you must, you will live anyway. The tears are flowing. I had a night, I had a day, I am losing joint because I had a free hand and this one doesn't listen to me. So, well, double fisting, eyes red as the setting sun, tears streaming down my face, I look out the window and blow a cloud of weed smoke into the open window of a cop car. Assessment. Because what they saw is a 42-year-old man trying their best in a mesh-backed sports coat, holding a top hat in their arm while shaking and holding 2 joints one day before all the furries show up. And they decided to drive off.
Folks, I'm going to toss out Alkali's hat so that we may raise some money for the Hall's charity. That is why we are here this weekend, in addition to, you know, scaring cops.
I scare security too.
And please give to help these animals. And if you can't, what the fuck's wrong with you? I just lost a wedding ring for you people.
You are in so much trouble. The worst part is that this get-up has gotten me into trouble before. Roof of a parking garage. I was preparing for a panel exactly like this, only a traditional stand-up. I had a set routine. I was going to be flying solo. I'm going to be alone on this one. And I hadn't practiced 2 or 3 of the routines before, so I was pacing on the top of the parking garage back and forth where there were no cars. I didn't know they didn't want anyone up there. It was a nice place. They did have security cameras up there. So when the security guard of the parking garage very tentatively stepped off the elevator and very shyly and respectfully told me that I shouldn't be up there, and I rode down the parking garage with him, it took one of my friends to make me realize he thought a Batman villain was hanging out. I said all black, walking around, muttering to myself with hand movements.
It sounds like you and John at Yoma.
We don't talk about that!
Last year.
No, let's talk about that. Yeah, let's talk about that.
I will tell you the story of John St. John later when I get his permission.
I can get him on the phone if you want.
No!
So last year, my good friend and I have had the option and the ability to go several places together. Just as vacations, not as this, but you know, going out and hanging out. We went camping.
We went camping. You and me camp very differently. You and me camp so differently, and you are really good at dealing with park rangers. I very much appreciate that fact.
So we go out right at this little park in Ohio. It's like the ass into nowhere. And I was like, there's nobody around our spots. I'm like, wonderful, that's great, we can do stuff. I get there early, I set up my tent. I have a small dome tent, I set it up. I set up our chairs out when I arrive. 2 hours late, sets up his tent. We start fixing food. Now, I'd gone out, I bought us beer. 2 middle-aged men in the woods around a fire drinking beer, right? Now, to get to that point, after setting up the tent, when I arrived, I said, well, I need to blow up my air mattress. Now, first, it's not my tent. It's my spouse's tent. Have you all seen my spouse?
Yes.
Honey, come on stage.
And find a ring.
I have the tent, you can take it, okay. We had never used this tent before. And I looked at it and I went, is that going to be big enough? And they said, yes, it's more than big enough to lay down. And I said, okay. Will it fit the twin air mattress? Yes, it'll fit the twin air mattress. Technically, it did. I had to put it in there and inflate it by hand in the tent because it was not going in the tent already inflated. I got it blown up though, and then we went over to the fire, and Alkali turned around, looked at the tent, and started laughing. Why'd you start laughing?
The tent looked like the base of a horse's dick.
The air mattress, it was a dome tent, but it was a dome tent to about here, then it went like this. And I thought, well, at least it's in there. Until I laid down on the air mattress that night, and I realized that since it was sitting 18 inches up in domes, famously, I didn't know this, they get smaller as they go up. So I'm curled in a ball on an air mattress in a tent with the sides bulging out. And I am doing that after we have spent the night, between the two of us, drinking an entire case of beer.
Don't forget, I also had tequila.
So there, and we're going, well, we're not taking the beer cans down to the garbage right now. It is pitch black. And when I say pitch black, I mean pitch black. There was an outhouse across the street from our campsite. I walked in there, looked at it, and went, yeah, not using that. It hadn't been pumped out. Like, it was the end of the season. I don't know if they pumped it out all season, but I used it once and then walked out. And Alkali goes, oh, how's the outhouse? I'm like, well, it seems really clean until you break the crust. The people at the Sheets 7 miles away became really familiar with us.
Yeah, they were.
So I drunkenly get in the tent. There's a pile of beer cans there. I get out. Now, this is a primitive campsite. There is no electric. There is no running water. There's nobody around us. There's no lighting. It is pitch black. It is primitive. Okay? The next morning, I wake up, I walk out, and I have a shower bag that I have left sitting out. It has warmed up the water slightly. Alkali is still asleep in his giant cabin tent that very easily could have fit both of us and our air mattresses, you dick.
You know better than to sleep in the same room as me.
Like it fucking man. Like, oh, I sleep.
Proceedings.
This is is like the 8th wedding ring I've had. I lose them constantly.
In such a spectacular fashion, because I want to see that happen in a court of law. Your Honor flings it at the defendant, they die.
Here's the good thing. If you were wondering, does Boozy lost weight? The answer is yes. So I am out by my truck the next morning, bright and early, after I sound asleep. I get out, I toss a log on the fire, I'm making cowboy coffee. And I go, well, I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna get cleaned up. I hang up the shower bag, I'm standing by my truck in my underpants with a washcloth. And right then the Ohio State Park Ranger pulled up and looked at us. Looked at me in my skivvies, washing at my truck. Looks at the pile of beer cans that is very clearly visible from the road. Looks at me, looks at the beer cans, looks at me, look at the beer cans. Now this entire time, I have not moved. A park ranger has pulled up, he has rolled down his window, he's looking back and forth. I was washing a, well, this is an 18+ panel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was washing my balls. So I'm standing there doing this. Frozen in place. Making eye contact. And she goes, what's going on here? Washing my nuts. You boys have a good time last night? And I'm like, washing my nuts. Yes, we did. And he goes, you know, there's only 2 campsites registered under your reservation. Yeah, well, there are only on 2 campsites. Yes, but there's a limit as to how many people can be on the campsites. I'm like, well, that's a weird fucking thing to say to the naked man washing his And like, by the way, to this ranger's credit, did not flinch at all at the fact I was totally nude, rubbing my testicles with this. I get the feeling we may have met in another life. And then I realize this ranger believes that Alkali and I have rented this campsite for a party. And why would he think that? Because there is like 2 cases worth of empty beer and a bottle of tequila plainly visible from the road. And I realize this, and I go, no, we're not partying, it's me and my buddy, we're just sitting here drinking. He's like, and I'm like, we're in our 40s. He's like, oh, okay, then we'll just keep it on your side. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, man. So then Alkali walks out of his tent. And he walks over, and he goes, what was that? I go, it was a ranger. And he goes, oh, what are you doing? And I go, I'm washing my nuts. And then he said, can I help? And I go,
you're a large mammal. That's a 2-man job. The worst part is, even after this experience, which, by the way, was incredible, and I thank you very much, I needed to get out of the house at that point. Waking up in the morning, finding out that he woke up with like a dozen spiders on him, that made my day. Yeah, that tent bulge? Remember that tent bulge? You know what tents aren't great at? Pressure from the inside. They popped like 4 different seams on the tent, and that let them be one with nature.
The second night, I said, well, I'm not sleeping 3 feet off the ground in a ball again. I'm just going to deflate the mattress, shove it back in my trunk, and I will sleep in the sleeping bag. I have camped on the ground before. Not a big deal. What I was unaware of was the popped seams. I was also unaware of the fact that I believe I put my tent on like the convention of spiders. Because the next morning I awoke and I was not alone in my tent. And it was not in a good way. Alkaline?
Yes.
What did you hear at 7 a.m. on Sunday morning?
The most effeminate scream that you can imagine. This mammal letting out, and then what I thought was the boulder from Indiana Jones rolling across the countryside. Breakfast and a show. I did not know that your solution to spiders was stop, drop, roll, and scream. But I appreciated it.
Somehow that did not stop us from taking trips together, because very recently, Alkali, my spouse, and I, we went to Gettysburg. Alkali came up to visit, and we said, we're going to take you to Gettysburg. Have you ever been?
It was so beautiful.
It wasn't. We went out. We got onto Priceline and looked for. We decided, we're gonna drink while we're there. We're gonna do a ghost tour while we're there. We're gonna do all these things. So we're gonna be done late. We'll just stay in Gettysburg that night. I only live an hour away, but we didn't want to drive it. So we'll just stay in town. Let's find a cheap hotel. I went to Priceline to find a cheap hotel. And I found a room at the 1863 Inn of Gettysburg. It's actually a very nice hotel. It's older. It's obviously an older hotel, but it's very well kept up. It's nice. It's not bad.
It had a weed smoking spot. I loved it.
The issue is we were going on the 13th, and here's what I did not know. Apparently, when you put in the dates for Priceline, you're like, best deal, it shows you the best deal for the entire weekend, right? So I didn't read that. It was late at night. I went, oh, okay, $63, got it. And then I got the reservation, which had us booked for Sunday night, not Saturday night, because that was the one they auto-showed me. So I look at the email, and the email says, cannot be canceled or refunded before 11:59 p.m., cannot be canceled or refunded after midnight. Technically, what they were trying to get is, it's not refunded. You got that 1 minute, but really it's, but I'm looking at it, I'm like, technically, that means there's 60 full seconds, right? So I called Prime, but I'm thinking, I literally just booked. If I call them and explain the situation, certainly they will either reschedule this, or they will cancel it, back it out, and let me rebook for the night we intended. So I call Priceline, and I am on hold with Priceline.
I love their hold music.
It's not that Cisco.
Focus number one.
It's not that. It's like a jazz trio. In a loop. But here's the thing. The loop repeats, but it doesn't repeat perfectly. There's like a 3-second gap in the loop. So we're sitting in my living room, I have it on speaker, and we just hear beedoo, 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 beedoo.
This has happened like 10 times, and we have fallen for it every time. We're like, yes, everyone, damn it!
Finally, I get a customer service. A lady comes on, they're like, hello, thank you for calling Priceline. Wonderful woman. Hello, thank you for calling Priceline. My name is Ramesh. How can I help you? Ramesh, it is wonderful to speak to you. Here is the issue. I meant to book this for Saturday night. I sorted my best deal. It showed me a deal for Sunday night. It's completely my fault. My dumbass didn't verify the dates. I went ahead and booked it. I booked it at this point, 20 minutes ago. I booked it like 20 minutes ago. I just need to either cancel this, or if you want, just move the reservation to Saturday night, and whatever the price difference is, perfectly put it on the card. No problem. Okay? I don't know if we can do that. Our vendor has to approve that. And I'm like, by vendor, what do you mean? And they go, the hotel. Okay. She goes, let me put you on hold while I chat. All right. So she puts me on hold.
Be-do-do, 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 be-do-do. We got into the song at this point. It has lyrics, which we cannot repeat.
But I know what's going to happen. If they're going to call the vendor and check, I'm going to get into this. So I grab my spouse's phone. I call the night desk for the 1863 Inn at Gettysburg, talk to a very nice young man named Vincent. Vincent said, well, that shouldn't be a problem, but, we haven't heard from you yet. And the reservation's not even in our system yet, so I can't do anything to help you. So whatever they tell you to do, yeah, that's fine, we'll approve it. All right, fine. And Ramesh comes back on and says, well, our process is we have to send an email to the vendor, and then they'll get back. And you'll hear something before check-in time. And I said, well, let's be very clear here. What do you mean by check-in time? Because my check-in time is going to be tomorrow.
In about 8 hours.
Yeah, your check-in time is going to be Sunday. So are we talking about tomorrow afternoon, I don't know? Or she goes, yes. I go, well, can you understand the issue here, though? Because we're leaving in the morning to go here. And what you are now proposing is, I don't know whether I have a room or not until 3 o'clock. And we don't want to sleep in my fucking truck on the battlefield. They tend to get mad about that stuff. She goes, oh, no. Either our vendor will approve the change, or we will process a refund and cancellation so you can rebook. Okay, thank you. And she goes, just be vigilant in watching your emails and your phone calls. And I say,
You're an ass.
Madam, I will be as vigilant as Chamberlain on Little Round Top.
There was definitely a moment of silence.
And she goes, that is fine, Mr. Belcher. Just be sure to check your phone and emails. Or to watch your phone and emails. I said, I will watch them harder than they watched the Potomac when Lee's army was approaching. Now, I want to be clear. I'm not being nasty with her.
Oh, no.
Like, I am laughing as I'm saying this. She is chuckling. It's very obvious. She doesn't get the joke, but she's very aware I'm joking.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And then he said, no, actually, you've been very wonderful. Thank you so much. I'll watch for the email. We hang up. The next day, we leave. We get to the battlefield. We go to the visitor center. We have booked a ghost tour that evening. We are going to go out to some bars that night. We're driving alkali around the battlefield and saying, this is there, where this happened, this is there, where that happened. We get to one place where you get out and you walk, and there's a big monument, and we're there, and I get an email from Priceline. Okay? This is it. And I open it up, and the email from Priceline says, the vendor has rejected your change request. Also, we're not giving you a refund. Enjoy your stay tomorrow.
Trashy.
I call Priceline.
No. You didn't just call Priceline. You set up for a private panel for me and QM because this man is a lawyer. And they are about to explain to a business why what they did was wrong. QM had Smart Pop in the car. We are sitting in the back seat and enjoying ourselves while this conversation begins.
My truck has Bluetooth. So this is playing over the speakers. And the first rep picks up, hello, this is Thomas. So I say, hello, Thomas. I am Boozy Badger. By the way, like, I know right now you're thinking that I was like, I am Boozy Badger, I'm using it as a place fill for my actual one. No. No, I did not. I am Boozy Badger. Oh, okay. Kindly take a moment and just Google it. Because I want you to understand you were on speaker, and myself and another comedian are on this call. And I want you to know before we begin that whatever happens here is likely getting told on stage.
Do you remember what you told them next? You may either be the hero or the villain in this story. Let us begin.
As we continue, Comedians embellish things. It's what we do. We tell a story, we embellish. There is no embellishment in this story.
No need.
None. Everything that I am about to tell you was actually said and actually occurred. Thomas, okay. Thomas, last night I booked a room and did not look at the dates when it offered me the best deal. And I realized that immediately. And I called you all, and I spoke to a very nice young lady named Ramesh. And Ramesh guaranteed me that either the reservation could be switched tonight, and I would be upcharged for the difference, or it would be canceled. Well, that's not the policy. This is a non-refundable reservation. Let me finish, Thomas. Because I just heard that neither one of those things are happening, and last night I was very clear with Ramesh that we needed one or the other to happen because we were already going to be in the town and I needed to book a hotel. And in reliance on her statement, we went ahead with our plans. And now we are here. And he goes, well, hold on, let me check the notes. Be-doo, be-doo.
I actually kind of appreciate that everyone else at that monument was definitely watching you exasperate in the front seat of a truck, and myself and QM are in the back seat just...
Yes, Mr. Badger. By the way, he did actually fucking say that. Yes. Like this time I've given him my real name, but yes, Mr. Badger was just the fucking cherry of the I see the notes here, and I would like to apologize for the misinformation that you were given last night. And I go, Thomas, I'm going to stop you right there. Because a misinformation is a mistake. It's something that happens. I understand that. But no, this was not misinformation, Thomas. This was a misrepresentation. And the misrepresentation that was made to me was that these things would happen. That it would either be moved to tonight or it would be refunded out by you so I could rebook through your service at whatever the rate is for tonight. Well, it's not really that big of an issue. I go, yeah, it sort of is. Because I could have canceled it last night. Well, no, you couldn't have. I said, yes, I can, Thomas. I looked at your email. It said it could not be canceled before 11:59 or after midnight. There was a 1-minute period where I had every legal right to cancel this reservation, and I did not do so based on the advisement that I was given by Ramesh. I relied upon that misrepresentation, therefore you must fulfill it.
I have a feeling this crowd is into corporate revenge porn. Motherfuckers, we're about halfway done.
Thomas says to me, well, that's not how it works. And I go, oh, it's definitely how it works, Thomas. Trust me, I've got a degree. Well, we have to have the approval of our vending partner. Do you mean the 1863 Inn of Gettysburg? And he goes, yes. And I said, okay, Thomas, can you get that approval? He goes, I can make a phone call. Okay, Thomas, go ahead and make the phone call. And he makes the phone call. Then he comes back and he says, yeah, they won't do it. So there's nothing we can do. I say, I'd like to speak to your supervisor, Thomas. I understand you're just doing your job. You have powers that are very limited by your job. But why don't you give me your supervisor? Put me up the chain to somebody who would have the power to get that done. Because otherwise, Thomas, you and I, we're going to sit here, and I'm going to get increasingly upset, and I'm going to take it out on you. And I know in your position, like this is, by the way, verbatim. I know in your position, you have things you cannot do, and that only someone above you can authorize, and that you probably don't have the authority to just authorize the refund. And I don't want to take it out on you, Thomas.
And up to this point, we were on Thomas's side. He's just doing his job.
And then Thomas said, okay, I understand that you want me to transfer you to a supervisor, so they can tell you the same thing I just told you.
There are two different ways that a human human can respond to that. One is with pure rage, the way I would have responded to it, because that's a job that I used to have to work. I had employees that had to pass to me, and if they pulled stuff like that, I knew I lost. There's nothing I can do now, you screwed the whole conversation. Or there's his way of dealing with it, which was what I can only assume the most massive lawyer erection possible. Because he knew that this was going to be fun.
That's right, Thomas. Put me through to your supervisor so they can tell me the same thing you've told me. Hello, thank you for calling Priceline. This is Edgar. How can I help you? Hello, Edgar. This is Boozy Badger.
Oh, no. At this point, you used your name.
Oh, yeah, I did.
You were on your name right now. He doesn't know who we are yet. You revealed that later.
Hello, Edgar. This is my name. Can we? Here's the situation. I go through the whole situation. We booked it. I didn't really look at the dates. Yes, I'm a dumbass. It's my fault. But I called immediately, and somebody last night told me they could get taken care of. And the young gentleman at the 1863 Inn last night that I spoke to said that they would have no issue with it if the email came in. And then I get this email, and I call. And Thomas tells me there's nothing to do. And he called and said there's nothing they could do. Said he called the vending bar, there was nothing to do. I said, but Edgar, I want to let you know right off the bat. Before transferring me to you, when I asked for a supervisor, Thomas said to me, yes, I understand you want to speak to a supervisor so they can tell you the same thing I just told you. Edgar, even if that is 100% correct, even if it is absolutely what is going to happen, it is not Thomas's job to tell me that. That was snarky and unnecessary, and I first would like to have a complaint against Thomas. Second, what can we do about the room situation? Well, it is our policy to not do refunds, and you do that. You know, Edgar, you weren't part of that last call. But let me explain to you the difference between a misrepresentation and misinformation and how you have a 1-minute window where I could have canceled that reservation and did not do so because of what I was told last night. I understand. I am going to call the inn. All right. Thank you, Edgar. And we're sitting there. And he comes back, I have spoken to the inn, and unfortunately they are not willing to cancel the reservation for you to rebook or to just switch the reservation to tonight and make the difference. Edgar, that doesn't make a lot of sense. Is tonight's rate higher than tomorrow's rate? Yes. You explained that I'm willing to pay tonight's rate. Yes. And they're still not willing to do it? Yes. Are you sure, Edgar? Yes. Okay. Edgar, what can we do? Well, there's nothing we can do about this. Are you sure, Edgar? Yes. I said, I'd really appreciate it if you called him again, Edgar. He goes, well, I said, humor me. Give him a call, Edgar.
At this point, I've been given instructions. I have my cell phone out, and I have found a phone number.
Alkali, could you give me that phone number?
Absolutely, friend. Hello, this is the 1984. How can we help you?
1863.
Close enough.
Hi, this is my name. I have a reservation through Priceline with you for tomorrow night, and I messed up booking. I meant to book it for tonight, and I'm on the phone with Priceline, and they've told me several times that you all are refusing to allow them to switch the reservation to tonight or cancel and just let me rebook for tonight.
Well, that's very strange. I haven't talked to anyone from Priceline.
I've been here all day. The phone hasn't rang. What's your name? Victoria. Victoria, What? The phone hasn't rang? No. Could somebody else be on it? Oh, no, I'm the only one here. I'm the manager. What about last night? Phone ring last night? No, Vincent on the desk last night said nobody called. Oh, Ramesh, you lied to me. Well, let me ask you, Victoria. If Priceline asks to move the reservation to tonight for the upcharge, or to let me cancel it, are you going to have an objection? No, of course not. Because, matter of fact, you could just come in and book the room tonight at a rack rate tonight. I think it's actually cheaper than Priceline. So you have rooms available tonight? Oh, yeah. Okay, Victoria. I'll be there in 2 minutes.
Speeding through Gettysburg is hysterical, by the way.
So I pull up Waze, I type it in, I hit go, it's 2-3 minutes away. And I put the car in drive, and right as I put it in drive, Edgar comes back on.
Oh, no.
Hello, I called, and they said there's nothing they can do. And I said, oh, you called, who'd you call? I called the vending partner. I go, by vending partner, what do you mean? Now I'm driving this entire time. I'm on Bluetooth. What do you mean by vending partner, Edgar? Well, the person that you got the hotel room from. I said, well, is it a third party or is it the hotel? It's the hotel. So you called the 1863 Inn at Gettysburg, and they told you there was nothing they could do, right, Edgar? Yes, I am very sorry, and they won't authorize the refund either. I said, oh, they won't. Who'd you talk to, Edgar? What? Who'd you talk to? I spoke to the manager. Oh, what was their name? What? What was their name, Edgar? I'm sorry, I don't have that written down. I go, was it Victoria, Edgar?
For one moment, I'm going to take Edgar's spot and I'm going to replace their real name with Boozy Badger. Well, Boozy, I believe that what we have here...
Oh, no, Edgar. We are no longer on a first name basis.
At this point, QM and myself have hands over each other's mouths because we can't stop laughing. And there's Bluetooth in this car.
You lied to me, Edgar. You lied to me because I called the 1863 Inn of Gettysburg while you had me on hold. And I spoke to Victoria at the desk, who has not only said that my request is reasonable and they are fine with refunding the money so I can book tonight, but that the phone hasn't rang all day, Edgar. If you lie to me, Edgar, I am no longer Boozy. I am now Mr. Badger.
I was so proud of you. The hemming and hawing coming through that phone, especially when this one announces our location.
Mr. Badger, I'm not sure that I said, oh, Edgar, I'm recording the call. What? I'm recording the call. Well, I said, you told me you're recording. You record, I record, Edgar. You record, I record. There is silence. I'm not recording shit. But now what he knows is what he thinks is I've got a record, like this crazy motherfucker has a record of me saying, oh yes, I'm calling the vending partner and it's definitely the hotel and they've told me no. And then this jackass called them on another line and we're driving and I go, you want to explain why you lied to me, Edgar? I don't believe that that's what I said. Your vending partner's the hotel, right, Edgar? Yeah, you've called your vending partner. Yeah, and I said, I've talked to Victoria, and she says she hasn't talked to me. So who's lying, Edgar? Who's lying? Well, Mr. Badger, Edgar, you know what? You don't have to answer that question. Just stay on the line with me. Because I'm about 1 minute and 30 seconds away from pulling into the parking lot of the 1863 Inn at Gettysburg, and we can get Victoria on speakerphone to find out who's lying to me. How's that sound, Edgar? How's it sound? Look, I will try to call the vending partner again. I go, I'd do it quick, Edgar.
We are rocking out to this song as the
We park in front of the 1863 Inn at Gettysburg. I turn off the truck, the Bluetooth disconnects, I immediately hit speaker. We walk inside, and Victoria is behind the desk. And I walk in, and she hears the be-doo, 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 be-doo. And she goes, "Are you Mr. Badger who called a moment ago?" "It's okay, Victoria, you can call me Boozy." And she goes, "Yeah, I can go ahead and get that set up right now." So we're like, okay, let's go ahead and book the room, because no matter what happens with Edgar, we need a room. So we're booking the room, and she goes, "Are they on the phone?" "Yeah." She goes, "Are you going to keep them on speaker?" I go, "Yeah." "Sign right here. Here's your keys." And she pulls the fucking stool over to sit down. "Hello, Mr. Badger." "Hello, Edgar." "I just got off the phone with the hotel, and since they have authorized the cancellation and refund, I will go ahead and process it." "Oh, you just got off the phone with them?" "Yeah, like you just hung up with them?" "Yes, just a moment ago. Just a moment ago." "Yeah." "You sure about that, Edgar?" "Well, yes, I just got off the phone with Victoria, because I remember I told them their name earlier, with Victoria at the 1863 Inn, and they have told me that they will authorize the cancellation and refund, and because the vending partner is willing to do it, we will go ahead and process that, and you'll see it back in 10 days. I go, "You lied to me again, Edgar." He goes, "Excuse me?" I go, "Say hi, Victoria."
More bubbly, because think about this. Think of how bad Priceline is. This is something she's dealt with before, but never did she realize that this could be in her court. "Hello, Edgar!"
Victoria. I'm like, you know what? No, you can call her Miss Victoria. Go ahead. I understand that you have authorized the refund to be processed."
"I have, but I did that for them. Who are you?"
"Okay, Mr. Badger. In about 10 days, your card will refund the $80 for your stay." Because that's what it was. And then all this over $80. Like, this has not been a short experience. Like, this has gone on for an hour now. I have had Priceline on the reps for over an hour. $80 for your stay. It will take about a week to 2 weeks to process the refund. Thank you, Edgar. Certainly, Mr. Badger. Oh, Edgar, one last thing.
There it is.
Yes, Mr. Badger? Will I receive a customer satisfaction survey for this call?
At this point, the noise that came over the phone was not, me and Q, I'm laughing, was not them feeling the satisfaction. It was the stool falling over and she jumped out of her chair, doing a slight jig because she knew that you were going to receive it during your stay. And our good friend asked if she could help.
Received 4 customer satisfaction surveys from Priceline. The first one was for Ramesh. You remember Ramesh? The one who laughed along with me as I made stupid dad jokes. And was very understanding, very nice, very pleasant. 5 stars, no complaints. She provided me with some misinformation, but really I don't think that's her problem because she gave a rational response to what seems to be a reasonable issue within a reasonable amount of time, and she was hamstrung by higher levels after that. Thomas received 3 stars. He was helpful up until the end. Nobody should ever be telling a customer, my supervisor is going to tell you the exact same thing I tell you. Just transfer the damn call. Say, I hope they can sort it out for you. Transfer the call. At least then you let the people who are actually paid to deal with assholes like me. And plus, Thomas is a frontline guy. He can't really do anything. He's just following his script. I had that frontline call center job at one point. I know that pain. And then there was Edgar. And my survey response to Edgar was no stars, completely dissatisfied. Edgar lied to me. And just went through the entire event, right? And that would be the end of the story. Except that was over a month ago. And I had not yet received my $80 fucking from So I have found a reasonable response to this. Every weekend, I call Priceline customer service.
Yes.
And I complain until I get Edgar.
Professionally petty.
And every single time, Edgar assures me that the refund will be processed. This is weekly now. It has been 4 solid weeks of every Saturday I call, complain until I get a supervisor. If it is not Edgar, hang up, call again. And when Edgar picks up the phone, I say, hello, Edgar. It's Mr. Badger. Last week, I must have been on the phone long enough for it to trigger this. Because yesterday, I got another customer satisfaction survey for Edgar. And now I know exactly how long I have to be on the call to get the survey. And Edgar's about to start getting surveys that just read, Edgar lied to me. I can do this forever. Or until Priceline gives me my fucking $80.
We have 80s Pyramid in about 15 minutes, I believe, and tonight we will be doing masturbation. It's not what it sounds like, except that it is. Thank you so much for being here, and good night!
Silver Gattoman, he bought me a coffee. Silver Gattoman, here is the song for thee. He likes to video all the panels at the cons. You should go and watch them whether they are short or long. Silver Gattoman, you video that's not a jibe. All of you go to his YouTube channel and like and subscribe.